Hello everyone, just before we get started today, I'd like to draw your attention, if I may, to our brand new third channel, Taliesin and Evitel TV, which is basically where we collect conversations or interactions from our live stream over on Twitch, which we think you might like to watch from the comfort of your own YouTube. So if watching bits from our live stream from the comfort of your own YouTube sounds like the kind of thing you want to do, check it out, Taliesin and Evitel TV, there's a link in the description below. Thank you, enjoy the video, thank you, bye. Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and welcome to 2022. Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, the first episode since our winter break, in which time we kind of bought a house, and also there is so much genuinely legit World of Warcraft news to catch up on that I don't even know where to start, like all of the new updates to the 9.2 PTR, which basically make it look like it is ready to launch whenever Blizz decide that they want to. There's controversy on the 9.2 PTR around whether Blizzard basically lied about what most parts of 9.2 people would have to actually play, and in the Redbot section, essentially the ending of the Shadowlands expansion, and in more data mining, the actual start of the next one. Actually, that's where I'm going to begin. There's no spoilers in this bit, I promise. The next expansion. Because with Eternity's End and Season 3 of the Shadowlands being confirmed as the last season of this expansion, that means that when 9.2 launches, or even has its release date announced, the way is then totally clear for a 10.0 new expansion reveal. Something that Team 2 was almost certainly preparing initially for a November BlizzCon 2021, which was of course cancelled, and then BlizzConline 2022, which was of course cancelled. That's nothing new. We've all known this for ages, and with the Eternity's End PTR being so far along, it's looking very much like this patch is going to be dropping in March or even February, which is great because A, actual WoW to play, don't mind if I do, and B, because it means, honestly, I think we are going to get the next expansion reveal in February or March too. Now, that's obviously a complete guess, but I've been doing this for a while now, so it's an educated guess, and it certainly seems to have been backed up with new data mining of encrypted files in this current patch 9.15 of a new mount and a new pet and one or more wearable items, all with several encrypted references to the in-game shop UI. And fam, that means that this is almost certainly the digital collector's edition for the next expansion. The Shadowlands Collector's Edition was encrypted in the 8.25 files in exactly the same way back in BFA, and this is 10.0's Collector's Edition getting ready to become available. You'd imagine for pre-orders that would start with a new expansion reveal, which suddenly feels like it could even happen before 9.2 goes live. Either way, it is so ominously imminent that frankly, I'm tempted to take another holiday in preparation for all of this news hitting very, very soon. And of course, whatever is in that encrypted data would certainly be a very big clue as to identifying what the next expansion is all about, wouldn't it? Like, if only we could, for example, work out what that encrypted mount is, right? Because that would basically tell us, hey guys, do you want to know what the encrypted mount is? Well, I am going to tell you, but not here, because this isn't the Redbot Spoiler section. And I'm not going to spoil you when it's not the Redbot Spoiler section, especially when we've got new 9.2 updates to be getting on with. And as you will see, everyone is very excited about all of the PTR changes. So this, I think, will be a very happy part of the show. Like the 2 new Shaman Ghost Wolf form glyphs. You see, what is not to love about Foxy Boy and Proto Wolf? Nothing. Exactly. And I know you're suspicious and doubt how happy this part of the show is actually going to be, but look at how happy everyone is now! There's the new broker gear available in Zereth Mortis from a vendor, which is item level 246, 3 levels lower than the gear that Zereth Mortis quests, chests, and rares award. So it's decent for undergeared alts to use when they rock up to the zone. If they have lots of sand-worn relics, which they'll get from doing quests, rares, and chests, and all of this stuff is bind on pickup, so you can't send the gear to your alts. They'll have to get it themselves. I think it's supposed to be more of a gap filler than a genuine gearing tool. Except, of course, everyone's going to do it no matter their character, because everyone's going to want those transmogs. I think it's more of a gap filler than the gearing tool, you know? My feedback, you can guess it. Make the currency account bound from the start so you can send spares to your alts to buy the equipment, and make the gear pieces that you buy bind on equip at exalted reputation with the enlightened, so that at some point your main can send the gear to alts directly. You know how I feel about all of this. You need to see those Ghost Wolf forms again, don't you? There you go. Everyone happy? Good. Here's the Vessel of Profound Possibilities, which teaches your character all conduits to level 278. That's mythic item level. And all you have to do to get this is be exalted with the enlightened and get either Keystone Hero, Mythic Sepulchre, or Elite PvP achievements. That was a shit show, obviously. How to delete? Just lol. The devs are trolling you guys. Haven't you figured it out yet? And it is easy to understand people's confusion here, right? Because if you're busting out plus 20s like Might Yabara, or clearing Mythic Raid like Might Yabara, or totally owning at PvP like I assume Might Yabara does, then it's likely you already have most conduits at max level anyway. So what's the point of the Vial of Profound Possibilities? And I mean, that is the point, isn't it? It's bad luck protection for those players, rather than a legitimate gearing path for anyone else. Importantly, it doesn't take away any of the other ways that you got all of your conduits that you have now. It's just an extra thing. I'd say getting a single plus 20 in time is probably the easiest of those achievements, by the way. Man, boosters are going to love the Vial of Profound Possibilities. Might Yabara is going to make a whole lot of gold. Hey, have you seen the new Ghost Wolf glyphs? Man, I love those very good boys. I think we can all agree they make us all very, very happy. Oh, hey, how about tier sets? Everyone loves tier sets, right? And the Warlock hat doesn't even look like a Grand Wizard anymore, so this is going to be an easy win, I reckon. Okay, so we are deep into raid testing on the PTR at this stage, and that means that tier pieces are dropping from the bosses when they're killed, but not in the form of tier tokens, as they traditionally have, which is where a protector token, say, could be used by a warrior, a hunter, a shaman, or a monk to create the appropriate tier piece for any of those classes, which obviously meant that there was a lot more leeway in terms of trading the loot around a raid group. But of course, that was in the days of master loot, and in the Sepulchre testing, bosses have been dropping individual tier pieces via the new only personal loot rules. Individual pieces, of course, being what used to drop in vanilla raids. And everyone loves vanilla, right? So as you can imagine, everyone was very happy about... No, it was a shit show, obviously. Pain, immeasurable pain. Horrible implementation. Horrible decision. Sadly, as expected, the usual change for the sack of change. And this is very interesting, isn't it? Because it's a great example of the importance of how game systems feel as much as what it actually does. Because yeah, individual tier pieces dropping instead of tier tokens makes it objectively harder for organized raiders to complete their 2 and 4 piece tier sets. But in 9.2, there's also the fact that you can turn Mythic Plus items into tier pieces with Valor. There's also the fact that you can get up to 3 extra chances at a tier piece per week in the Great Vault. And the fact that in the same raid testing, bosses were dropping 4 pieces of tier gear each for a 20-man group, a considerably higher drop rate than we have been used to. All of which might mean that as things currently stand on the PTR, completing a tier set could actually be easier for most players. But this is not a defense of the change, okay? Because I don't think that really matters. This proves that even if it were easier in 9.2 than in previous raids, players still clearly feel that tier tokens are better overall. On stream last week, I literally asked the question, hypothetically, if it could be proven that the 9.2 system makes completing your tier set like 5% quicker on average, would you then still rather tier tokens? And an overwhelming number said they would. It just feels better. It feels like you've got more control, and people still prefer it as a system. But not as much as they prefer the new Ghost Wolf forms, which I can barely even look at anymore because they just make me so happy. Ooh, you know what else makes you happy? Legendaries. And the equipping of 2 legendaries in 9.2, enabled by the Memory of Unity item, which is available from the Enlightened vendor on Zereth Mortis with revered reputation. Not a surprise to anyone who watches this show, of course, because we have been reporting that this would be a reputation reward from the very beginning. And because everyone watches this show for their WoW info, this news was simply confirmation of what everyone already know. It was a shit show, obviously. Bullshit! This can't be real, what the fuck? Alright, see you next Next back. The problem is Blizzard said the reputation was not tied to player power. As expected, empty words when they said, we won't tie player power to reputation. Remember when this trash company said in 9.2 no player power will be locked behind the new zone? Sigh. We won't tie player power to reputation, Blizzard. Lol, they believed us, Blizzard. So, someone is lying here, right? Either Blizzard is lying, and they did say that they wouldn't be tying player power to reputation in 9.2, and that raiders wouldn't have to set foot in the new zone, Zereth Mortis, if they didn't want to, or I'm lying and have been lying since we started reporting this. And I'm going to put my cards on the table here. I really hope it turns out it's not me that's lying, because that would be awkward. Luckily though, it's not me that's lying. Here's an interview with John Haidt from November last year, 2 months ago. What is certain is that players need to unlock double legendaries by increasing the reputation of the enlightened brokers in the new area. And here is Morgan Day saying that there would be no player power tied to the cipher of the first ones at around the same time.
Cipher of the first ones is a system that drives a lot of our players through the majority of the outdoor content in Zereth Mortis. So it's available week 1. Like as soon as you step foot there, you can gain access to the system. Also, a major goal of ours is for the system to be for people who enjoy the outdoor world, to enjoy the story and exploration. So if you're a person who's only interested in raiding, this system is, you can completely ignore this if you want to, and you won't be missing out on any player power of any kind. This is just something that's for people who are really excited about, kind of the secrets and the things that Zereth Mortis has to unlock.
So Blizzard didn't lie, and in fact all of the information has been out there since November. We've shown both of these quotes before on this show. So look, I'm not trying to say that all of this confusion could be avoided if you just treated the weekly reset as your first and foremost source of WoW news, okay? That's not what I'm saying. That is demonstrably true, of course, but it's not what I'm saying. And yeah, you can split hairs and say, oh, but Taliesin, engaging with the cipher of the first ones is going to make it slightly easier to get reputation with the Enlightened, so Morgan Day was lying about no player power being linked to it. But that's kind of what someone says when they are wrong with the first thing they said and now are desperately trying to find some way not to be wrong. And that's fair enough, to be honest, because we all do it. And you know what? If that many players took you won't have to engage with the cipher of the first ones if you don't want to, as you won't have to set foot in the new zone if you don't want to, then clearly there is a communication issue here, right? A communication issue that Blizz could really fix quite easily by everyone watching the weekly reset every week, because then you'd have all known. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I can't sit here and just pretend that we haven't been telling you how it works, okay? Wowhead calculate that it's going to take a maximum of 28 days to hit Revered, and that's maximum as in you log in every day and just do world quests that are up without using the cipher, and without getting any rep tokens dropped randomly. That article is a couple of days old by now, and I think there are already signs that it's going to probably be a bit quicker than that. And if you think I'm being too lenient on Blizzard here, there absolutely is something to be annoyed about, in my opinion. And it's not that I have to grind out reputation for a cool reward. I actually quite like doing that, to be honest. It's one of the reasons I like World of Warcraft. And access to the legendary memory item is account-wide, so I will only have to do this rep once, which is just how I like it and as it should be. No, for me, the problem is the same as it's been for a while now, that the reputation is time-gated. Ignoring random reputation token drops, there is a hard cap of reputation that you can earn in a single day, which means that if you miss a day, there is no way that you can ever catch up by more than a day's worth of reputation per day. And this is a major problem for hardcore players, for sure. They'll tell you all about it, but even more so for casual players, because a casual player can't log in every day a lot of the time. Sometimes they can't log in for 5 or 6 days at a time, but often they will find themselves with a whole day or 2 to spare, and in that time, WoW players often decide that they'd really like to absolutely cane WoW for an extended hardcore session. And in that session, they want to be able to put in the hours and catch up somewhat with the current grind, whether that be Anima or filling the Great Vault, or in 9.2, Exalted rep for their double legendary. But they can't, can they? Because they can only get a set day's worth of reputation per day, no matter how many hours they've got to waste. They could play 48 hours straight and they would still not have caught up on someone that plays for 30 minutes every day. In fact, they will still be exactly as behind that player after their marathon 48-hour session as they were when they started it. and that is such a shit feeling. Either reputation needs to be uncapped, or there needs to be an extending cap, which represents the maximum reputation that has been available since the very start in total, which someone with a couple of random days to spare could make a dent in if they put their mind to it. We, and Blizz too, have this weird idea of casual players logging in for a short amount of time every day, and plenty do, but just as many casual players want to no-life the game when they get the chance. They just don't have as many chances to do that as hardcore players. So unlock that rep, Blizz, have reputation drop from rares and chests like it did on the Broken Shore, or heck, how's this for an idea? Experiment with new world quests instantly respawning if you are behind the current maximum. Holy shit, that's actually a really good idea. It's good for players, and it'll be good for your metrics too, because if a player literally can't log in every day, then they're not able to force themselves to, but by making sure they can't catch up again in their own time, you're just crushing any motivation that they have to log in at all. Ghost Wolf. Good, so now we're all feeling happy again. Allow me to welcome you to the part of the episode that I have been looking forward to the most, the Redbot Spoilers section, in which we basically know the end of the expansion now, thanks to Wowhead, who has have a whole bunch of articles linked down below covering everything that we talked about and will talk about today. So you can read more about anything that takes your fancy in your own time. There's no cap on those articles. And I'm not joking, fam. This really does give away a lot. And I have to look at this stuff because it's my job. But you don't have to. You're still going to look though, aren't you? So, okay, clap an eyeful on the prototype Jailer model. You know how Zereth Mortis is like where the first ones made all the stuff that you find in the Shadowlands, including its native species. And you know how there's a fight in the Sepulchre raid which is against prototype 3D printed early versions of the Covenant leaders? Well, this would certainly appear to be the Zovaal version of one of those. Except not quite, because actually Slumpy Boy here isn't an early version of Zovaal, or a later version for that matter. It is Zovaal, our Zovaal, and we know that because of the runes of domination on his head and body. Runes that we know he wasn't made with, but which the Primus carved into him as part of imprisoning him in the Maw. And that slumpy bad-postured pose that we find Meccano Jailer in matches the end position of Zovaal's new death animation at the end of his fight. And this is really interesting, because I've always speculated throughout Shadowlands that the Eternal Ones cannot be killed. For evidence, they didn't kill Zovaal when he tried to destroy reality. They imprisoned him. Zovaal didn't kill the Primus after capturing him, even after getting all the information that he needed. He just imprisoned him. We don't kill Denathrius at the end of the Nathria raid. We imprison him. And even after getting stabbed by Baduin, where I'm pretty sure everyone who saw it thought she was dead, no, actually the Archon turns out to be fine too. And this empty robo-husk would appear to back that speculation up, because it would certainly appear that we might just have fought the Jailer in the one place it is possible to kill him. He is using the power of the Sepulchre to attack Azeroth and unmake reality. It would seem that at the climax of the fight, we are able to somehow use that power against him and unmake the Jailer, de-evolving him even to his prototype state, robbing him of his power and his sentience, but more importantly, his nipples, and I think we're all losers here. And I guess the interesting question is, did any of that de-evolution happen to our lovely cozy home planet of Azeroth while Zovaal was bombarding it? I guess we'll have to wait and see, because before that, there is the small matter of Sylvanas to sort out, and what kind of punishment she is going to face after, you know, all the genocide and murder and generally just being a big old baddie for a couple of expansions back there. And there are clues to that in this data too. And when I say clues, I mean like flat out answers, obviously. Broadcast text that has Sylvanas declare, "I submit to the judgment of Tyrande Whisperwind." And there are new high-resolution Sylvanas and Tyrande models in the files too, specifically for use in an in-game cutscene, presumably relating to all of this. And we don't actually know what Tyrande's judgment is, but I've got a feeling it's going to be a little bit more merciful than many in the community are hoping for. Which leads us all the way back round to that Datamined Digital Collector's Edition and what spoilery goodness there is inside. So remember, in these files, there is a a mount, there is a pet, and there is a transmog. And they're all encrypted, but the file for the mount is very large. Like at 8.9 MB, the asset is 3 times the size of the Shadowlands glowy worm thing. Now that could be represented as sheer mass, it could be a reflection of the amount of detail in the model. And separate from that, there is a bunch of spell effect textures associated with the model too. All new, all kind of green and shiny, and with the file name Drake Mount Emerald. Which, I don't know fam, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here, but what kind of mount would be very big and have an Emerald Drake effect on it? Probably an Emerald Drake, right? And Deluxe Edition mounts are, by definition, themed around the expansion, all of which would appear to be confirmation of a dragon-themed Dragon Isles 10.0. I mean, on top of all the other confirmations that we've already had. The community basically decided en masse that the next expansion was going to be Dragon Isles a few months ago, and it feels like every week there is a new clue that this was the right call. And this isn't the first time I've said this out loud on this show, but yeah, it's definitely the Dragon Isles. This expansion is so close to being announced, I can almost smell the fire on its breath. Fake leak season is in full swing, with every single one of them choosing Dragon Isles as the setting, obviously, and I have to admit, I'm pretty hyped to see what they've got in store for us. I'm never not going to be excited about a new expansion reveal, okay? I just hope that if that Drake mount is really big, that all the spell effects scale really well. So, well, that was quite a, week, and also Christmas as well. Wintervale. It's been a month
since... It's been a year.
It's been a month since the last episode of the Weekly Reset. What have you done in that time, Evitel?
I'm growing a baby. Thank you very much.
Oh, I thought you might say, maxed out your renown and different covenants and things like that.
That was the plan, but not
so,
quite.
We've grown a baby. We've been abroad. We almost got stranded abroad because of the old, blood plague and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've been house hunting in different countries and things and what have you, and we started a new channel.
This is the biggest news out of all of these things.
I mean, babies are all very well and good, but
Fine.
if it's not on YouTube, does it even count?
Exactly.
So
there is a way around that.
It's actually oh my god, can you imagine how many subs we got on Twitch if we streamed your birth? Has that ever happened?
I'm sure
it has. We're too late to stream your birth.
I'm gonna put that on the maybe
It'll
column.
be so good. It's actually our 3rd channel, right? Because we've already got another channel where we talk about, so far, Squid Game and Dune, and one day I'll edit the sex education footage that I have.
Those were some good videos.
Yeah, they were brilliant. Okay, so the
3rd
channel is called Taliesin and Evitel TV. We had a little spot for it at the beginning of the video as well, but if you want to check out, talking about news and stuff as it happens, and giving really hot takes, unscripted, in the moment.
Spicy takes. This is
what
we've kind of always wanted to do to some degree, but it didn't feel right on the main channel.
Exactly. And it's actually really cool, and like just interesting conversations that we have on stream that we edit vaguely and kind of just put out there in little 20-minute or half-hour sort of segments.
Exactly.
So no gameplay.
No.
Just hot takes.
Mostly
just
Tally's hot takes at the minute, but you will get mine soon enough.
Yeah, you're busy.
Once I'm back on the wagon.
You're busy working out mortgages and things like that. Oh man, if you thought simming for DPS gear was hard.
Yeah, seriously.
Try and get a mortgage when you run a YouTube channel. If you want to check out that channel, that would be great. We'd really appreciate it. Loads of people have already. It's going really well, actually. It's gone a lot better than I thought it was going to. Do you know my favourite thing about the new channel?
What?
Thumbnails.
I knew you'd love that.
I allow myself to really go for it for the thumbnails. Well, look,
really
it's a genre, right? It's a genre,
it is.
and we're fitting in with the genre. We're not breaking any new ground here. We're not revolutionizing, stream highlight content here, and as such, we've got to fit into the style, the genre, right?
You have to look outraged.
Yeah.
Orgasmic.
Yeah, those are the only 2 looks I have. It's like this genre was made for me, and I know you can look both of those things.
Yeah.
Often at the exact same
both
time.
At once.
So it's exciting times.
It feels good. I'm ready for some good news in my life.
Mage Tower closing, incredibly sad.
Rip, I know.
I was convinced they were going to turn around one day and be like, "Yo, dudes, it's open till 9.2.
I know.
Go wild, enjoy." How many Mage Towers did you get in the end?
1.
Lies. You didn't get any. Were you trying to pass off an original Legion Mage Tower?
Oh, I mean, when you say Mage Towers, yeah.
No one means the original. No one means the OG now. Everyone means the Time Walking one. How many did you get?
0.
Of course not.
0.
Of course you didn't, because you were so busy over Christmas.
It's true.
So I got 4 in the end.
Well done.
Mage Towers.
That's pretty good.
I got Discipline Priest. I got Fury Warrior. I got Ret Paladin.
Cool.
And I got Vengeance Demon Hunter.
Oh, nice.
So and Vengeance is one that I did not get in the OG, so I felt pretty good about that.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So 4, and considering we were away for 2 weeks, nowhere near a computer as well.
Yeah.
I feel that was pretty good. So it looks like the old weekly reset and other things will be quite busy.
It's back.
This channel will be busy. Our third channel will be busy. And the second channel's there too.
It'll get there. It'll get there. That was always more of a hobby anyway.
Glad you're here for it. I'm glad you're here right now. This is brilliant. I've got a feeling, Evitel, 2022 is going to be a good year.
Is it not going to be just 2022?
Oh, that's horrible. Don't think about that. No, I think it's going to be a good year. I think
it's going to be a really good year.
All goes according to plan.
I'm so excited.
We're going to have a baby.
Actually.
We're going to move house. We're going to have a new WoW expansion. What else do you need?
Literally, what else?
Nothing. I can't think of anything else I need. Well, you here with us today. So thank you for being here today. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our videos happen. That's these videos on this channel and on the second channel and on the third channel. And this month, Evitel, I don't know if you know, is the official month of the patron Q&A.
It is.
Hardcore. Like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 patron Q&As out this month because we've got a lot of questions to catch up on.
We do.
Every spare moment when I'm not playing or crying about Mage Tower or cleaning my room or sorting out mortgages,
your room.
We're going to be this room here needs cleaning. We are going to be recording patron Q&As. We're going to answer all the questions.
All the
We've got
time.
hundreds of question backlog right now. We're going to answer them.
We will.
If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is T&E Talks.
Oh,
It's the second channel. They can comment whatever they like there. I don't care.
The sad middle child. The sad middle child.
So
the neglected middle child.
it's not neglected. There's 3 hours worth of sex education, like TV show
It's all
analysis
on a
footage
drive.
there.
It's good. It's really good.
No, my name is Taliesin.
From me, too.
And me, Taliesin. Until next time, cheerio.